Assalamualaikum, my name is Dr. bin Sulaiman from class 3 BA. Today I would like to present with my group members Anis, Aina, Nadira and Shahira about inflation and employment problem in Algeria. So the purpose of this report is to find out about current economy and overview the problem of inflation and employment, about monetary fiscal policy, the impact of coronavirus pandemic and the impact of government stimulus on national debt of Algeria. So the concept of inflation is inflation measured by the consumer price index CPI, and the effect of anticipated inflation is positive effect and unanticipated inflation is negative effect. Next, for the concept of employment, employment occur when people who are at the working age able and will to work but unable to find suitable jobs. Next is economic active population who are employed and unemployed, and the economic inactive population who are outside of the labour force, such as full-time student and army.
Flag of Algeria. In July 1962, Algeria was in the third adopted of their national flag. The flag consists two of the same size vertical stripe, which is green on the left and white on the right. In the center of the flag, there is a red crescent and 5-pointed star. The white color in the national flag symbolize the purity, and the green color symbolize Islam. The crescent moon represent a native to pre-Islamic times. The crescent and stars are commonly become the symbols of Islam. So here is the example of the Algerian flag. Introduction and quick fact about Algeria. Algeria is a country in the Maghreb region of North Africa. Algiers is the capital and most populous city. It is located in the far north of the country on the Mediterranean coast. Algeria has become the 10th largest country in the world and the largest by area in the African Union and the Arab world, which area consists 2,381,741 square kilometers.
For population, Algeria ranks number 33 in the list of the countries and dependencies by population. In 2018, 42,228 million people, which represent an increase of 507,429 people compared to 2017. In 2019, the population of Algeria was 43 million, which is higher than 2018, and the difference by 824,625 people. Algeria's national disposable income data was at 15 million DZD in 2018. For Algeria's gross national product, it was reportedly at 165.788 USD in December 2019.
Main sector contributors. Based on the statistic of 2019, the agriculture sector contributed 11.97%, industry sector contributed 37.41%, and the services sector contributed 45.94%. In the year 2019, the most productive sector is agriculture sectors: barley, dates, oats, wine grapes, olives, tobacco, and citrus are the main crops of for year 2019. Algeria also produced a huge quantity of corn and livestock.
For national debt, Algeria was in the public debt in $66,583 million in 2018. In 2019, the percentage of public debt in Algeria is 46.3% of the GDP. Algeria's national debt rise due to the rising amount of population in the country.
According to this chart, during the year 2005 until 2019, which is strictly 15 years data, the actual year that made us wonder is about the year 2011. As stated in 2011, Algeria had faces the highest inflation, which is 18.2%, that has been concerned to all Algerians. The truth about the inflation happened in 2011 is due to increased food inflation, which triggered the wholesale cost of several agricultural commodities such as wheat, corn, rice, and many daily products has jumped to a record high. The type of inflation in Algeria is cost-push inflation, or referred to as supply shock inflation. This can be because the increases within the cost of production are passed on to the consumer within the sort of the higher prices. This is what happened in 2011, where the cost of wheat, corn, rice, and many other daily products has increased.
The inflation rate in Algeria has widely fluctuated between 2003 and 2011, going from an occasional of -1% in 2003 to height of 7% in 2009. At the start of 2012, price increased again through April 2012. This increase in food inflation was mostly driven by fresh food. Excluding fresh foods, it increased by a minimum of 1% in April 2012 compared its level in April 2011, but in May 2012 it began to decline again. The huge increase in government officials' wages in 2011 and 2012 was the principal factor behind the increase of banking sector assets. Fiscal financing requirements are currently met by drawings on the Oil Stabilization Fund, which increases bank assets. Algeria depends mainly on government expenditure to stimulate economic process which depends on hydrocarbon revenues. Further monetary policy tightening is important to contain inflation.
Next, I will explain about unemployment in Algeria. According to this chart, it can be interpreted that the unemployment rate in Algeria for the year 2005 is the highest, with the rate 15.3%. The causes of unemployment in Algeria is the continuity of the old people to work after reaching retirement age, the weakness of the national economy, high rate of the number of the new entrants to the labor market every year, inflexibility the Algerian economy in all sectors, and also failure at the education and training system in Algeria has made it difficult to provide qualified workers who are capable of keeping pace with the needs of the time and the labor market.
Effect on unemployment in Algeria. In 2005, 18% of total employment was in the public sector, while in agriculture and public workers, where employment has been growing, labor productivity has been low and activities has been sustained by public spending. It is about 34% for people between 15 to 19 years old to less than 5% for people over 50 years old. The unemployment rate for women, which is 17.5%, was close to men, which is 15%. This is not surprising as unemployment is developing countries generally forced disproportionately on the young. Actual policy taken by the government to overcome the unemployment problem. First, the government should pursue growth-enhancing policies, or known as fiscal policies, that will create conditions for enough long-term employment to absorb the growing workforce and reduce unemployment. And the last one is easing restriction on hiring and firing will make the Algerian labor market more flexible and help reduce unemployment.
Impact of coronavirus pandemic on inflation and unemployment of the country. Due to COVID-19 pandemic, inflation fell to 4.3% in 2018 and also fell to 2% in 2019 and increased to 3.5% in 2020 and 3.7% in 2021. The population of the unemployment affects 11.4% compared to previous years. According to the World Bank on October 2018, 29% from youth, 19.4% from women and 18.5% from university graduates got higher percentages in unemployment. As you can see from this graph, for the inflation rate, the highest is from years 2022 and the lowest from 2019. 2019 got 2.0% and 2022 got 4.5%. And the second is graph unemployment rate. For the unemployment rate, the highest is from 2022 and the lowest from 2019. 2019 got 11.4% and 2022 got 14.7%. For impact of government stimulus package on national debt. For fiscal, health sectors include 3.7 billion for medical supplies, 16.5 billion for bonus payments to health workers and 8.9 billion for the health sector's development. The law includes 20 billion for allowance and 11.5 billion for transfers to poor households for the economic impact. For monetary and macro financial, the Bank of Algeria main policy rate by 25 basic points to 3.25% and lower the reserve requirement ratio from 10% to 8%. On 30 April, they announced to cut the main policy rate from 3.25% to 3.0% and reserve requirement ratio from 8% to 6%, exchange rate and balance of payments. The authorities announced to cut the import bill at least USD 10 billion that can contain 6% of GDP. They also banned export food, medical and hygiene items. The government maintaining to ban imports of car less than 3 years old that announced on October 11, 2020.
Lastly, there are many reasons of inflation to happen in Algeria, and generally it caused by two major, the demand pull or cost push inflation. Because of the increases with the cost production are passed on to the consumer with the sought higher price. The result of that is economic policy exerted greater impact on Algeria economic growth. Net the cost of unemployment is increases of population growth rates, which has led to high rates labor force. Last, the impact of corona pandemic is inflation increases effect population and unemployment increase compared to the previous year. So in conclusion, we can conclude that Algeria government should use expansionary and contractionary fiscal policy in their country and should be implemented to stimulate aggregate demand in order to reduce the cyclical unemployment and to control inflation.